Hello, you guys. So from the get-go, I want to start off by saying I know I have like white stuff on my eye. I have I think it's like a dry skin type rash on my eye, probably from wiping my eyes with allergies. So I know it's there. I'm sorry you guys kind of have to see it. I know it might be kind of distracting, but it was actually hurting. So I was trying to find something to put on it, and it's my like blood poison salve that I swear by. So hello. I want to get on here today and talk about the human connection, because with all that's going on in the world, there is so much division, and I wanted to get on and just kind of chat about why we want that connection. Why do we feel the need to be connected with one another? And the reason this kind of came to mind is I have a friend who has recently started posting. We met through our faith, through our religion, and they've gone a different direction in their life, and that's okay. I'm the kind of person where I respect that. I want everybody to just be happy and at peace with where they're at in their life. But here's what happens, and this is what I wanted to kind of get on and describe, because I don't think we always understand how this works or why it is the way it is. So our faith and religion is what brought our friendship together. And so because of that, even though we then built a friendship beyond that wasn't just about our faith and religion, that was the basis. And so that is why I now kind of struggle to interact or connect with that person. It's the same with business. If people have joined my company, I, again, want people to be happy with where they're at. But if the business is what brought us together and that person is no longer doing the business, then it's hard to kind of maintain the same interaction with one another. And it's not that you care about each other any less. That I think that's kind of the misconception, is people tend to think that, oh, well, they don't care about me anymore, or we're not as close as we used to be. And that may be true, that closeness might not be there as much, but you have to remember, if it's what brought you together and that commonality is no longer there, it changes. It's the same when friends get divorced. Like, if you met that couple through the spouse and they divorce, you may not have as much of a connection. Or if both husband and wife are friends with both husband and wife, that connection may not still be as strong there or as closely tied, because what brought you together is now no longer there. Does that make sense? And so whether it's faith, religion, business, friendship, marriage, whatever, work, company, whatever that may be, if what brought you together no longer is a commonality, then there's going to be a change. And it's not always about, because again, I hope I'm like clarifying this right, you guys. What's going on in my head and what's coming out of my mouth is not coinciding right now, and it's driving me a little bit crazy. But I want to be just so very crystal clear that while friendships may be then based on other things and broader spectrums, if the basis of what brought you together changes, then often that friendship does change. And it's not no longer care about you anymore, or no longer feel close or whatnot. It's not about that. It just, that human connection changes, and we as humans need that connection. Now think back to January, when we all found out that Kobe Bryant died. Wow, that was a shock, I think, for all of us. Like, that was a pure shock, and we all, even me, who I was not a fan of his as a basketball player. I respected his talent, but I'm not a Lakers fan, and so I didn't ever like him like that. But I think we all kind of gathered together, and that connection was there because we were all grieving the loss of an icon. When 9/11 occurred, we all gathered together and we're grieving that experience of terrorism. So when we find reasons and ways to connect, that is so key in how we move forward. And right now, our world is trying to divide us, is trying to separate us, is trying to point out our differences. And our differences are what make us as individuals wonderful. But the world is trying to divide us, and we cannot let that happen. We can't. You guys, I am so, it's so hard right now on social media. Normally, social media does not bother me. Normally, like, I don't get caught up in the emotion of those kinds of things. But right now, I am struggling because it is trying to divide us. It's honing in and putting so much attention on our differences. And our differences are what make us beautiful. But there was a post the other day that talked about, I can both feel like George Floyd shouldn't have died, Black lives do matter, and I want peace and don't agree with like the looting. And so like we can feel all those things, and that's okay. They kind of did one about that with COVID too, is like I can both be concerned and I can't even think straight. It's driving me crazy. My brain is not functioning. But maybe it's because I was not meant to talk about that, right? It's just so important, so very important, you guys, that we like come together as a community, as a neighborhood, as a world, as a social media platform group of people, and that we can agree to disagree. We can recognize that we aren't all going to feel the same about things, that our human connection is going to be different based on our past experiences, based on our perceptions. Our perceptions are huge. It's intriguing to me because I've often said I don't see color, and then I see these posts that talk about how that's a cop-out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never thought of that as a cop-out, and yet maybe it is. And we all have certain maybe prejudices, like we're human. I think that's normal. However, that doesn't make it okay. It doesn't. And so I read a post the other day where a woman was talking with her handyman who is Black, and he was talking about how he can't go out past 6 p.m. He can't go out after dark because he knows it's not safe. That breaks my heart. That makes me sad. I hate that that's the case. I grew up in Texas for many years, and there is still prejudice. I was part of a singing group, actually, that was called Confederates for many, 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 many years. And some parents came in and said that name needs to change. And it was interesting to me because that name for many people caused hurt. It caused anger. It caused negative feelings. And for me, I didn't think of it like that. That wasn't my perception. That wasn't an emotion tied to that for me. But it did that for others. And so we respectfully, the school changed the name. And we were fine with that. We were in support of that. But it was very interesting to see the different like emotions that something so simple as a name of a singing group for high school could affect. And this is where I so badly want to get my thoughts and feelings out there, because while I don't want us all walking on eggshells, I also want to be mindful and aware of other people's feelings and respect that I don't always know other people's perceptions. We can talk about white privilege, and man, that phrase is like, whoo, catching fire right now. Like it is on full-blown fire right now. And it's interesting to me, my take on that phrase versus other people's takes on that phrase, what emotions that draws out for some and not for others. And like just the phrase Black Lives Matter, I love diversity. Like I love it. And here in Utah, I don't see enough of it, and I miss it. I miss diversity. But like, it's so sad to me that a movement that had such a good purpose and intent in the original aspect was then taken and twisted and turned into something it wasn't originally meant to be. And yet, yes, Black Lives Matter. I 100% agree with that. And I also agree that all lives matter, but it's okay that they were trying to draw attention to that there's still some differences, and that not all people recognize or know that those differences still are there, that this man, this repairman, still in 2020 feels like he can't go out past 6 p.m. at night because he might get blamed for something he didn't do, or assumptions might get made about him based on the color of his skin. You guys, we are not given a choice. When we are born, we are not given a choice of what color is your skin going to be. And so it is so very important that we band together and allow that human connection. I was talking with my brother yesterday, and he was talking about that he more is attracted to people's energy versus their color of their skin. And I agree with that. Like, I come across I'm white, I come across a white person, and I can get the heebie-jeebies because of their energy or because of the feeling I get around that person. And it's, for me, not based on skin, it's just that feeling I get. Whereas I can be around a Polynesian and just be like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know about you guys, but Polynesians, I have never met an unkind Polynesian. Maybe you have. I haven't. I just know them to be fun and loving, and they welcome you in and make you one of their own, and they're just amazing people. So we all have different perceptions based on our past experiences, and if we can truly band together and bring back love, bring back human connection, bring back those things that do make us different, and accept and love those. And I think we need that in this world right now. And so I'm gonna get off my soapbox and go have some lunch, but I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And I just want us all to go back to the kind and the love, and the change happens when love is the fighting factor, right? That's where the change occurs. And so I wish you all the best. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.